Hi, you're watching STL TV, and I am Angella Sharpe, and I'm really excited because right now I am joined by Chris Clark, the Artistic Director of QFest. Thanks for being here today.
Thanks for having me.
Okay, so QFest is in its 16th year?
16th year, yes.
So that is huge, but if somebody's been living under a rock, what is kind of the essence of QFest?
QFest is a week-long film festival that is dedicated to celebrating the identities and lifestyles of the LGBTQIA plus communities and anyone else who just likes going to the movies.
I was gonna say, because some of these stories do have a theme that is centered around LGBTQ plus community lifestyle. Some are just directed by a member of the LGBTQ plus community.
Yes, that is true. A couple of shorts they don't really have a gay or queer theme per se, but they had queer directors, so they were included. That isn't always the way we'd always program the event in the past. And most of the films do honestly have some component or one or more of the many letters of our little alphabet represented, and that's the point of the event. Like an Italian film festival or any kind of niche specialty festival, it is, by starring, things that would happen in that community or that country, in this case, and it's the same thing with this, but we look for films that are, empowering to all those people and just show that, it's normal but different all at the same time, just like life.
I like that, normal but different, just like life.
Yes.
Now, 16th year, you obviously know what you're doing when you're selecting these movies.
Yes, it's one of our smaller events, but it's been, it started out as a group of community organizers approached me and said, we want to put one together, will you help us? So it wasn't even truly a Cinema St. Louis event initially, but as an all-volunteer consortium kind of thing, happens. A couple of people got jobs in other places or walked away or couldn't do it, and I was left. So my day job was producing film festivals for this nonprofit, so we just kind of moved it under us to make it a permanent home. And there is a need for it. And especially these past couple of years, there's endless things in the news about shootings and laws changing about members of the community, and so we're just people.
Just kind of giving you a little bit more empowerment back to the community that might be seeing some things change that they don't necessarily like. But you also took on another undertaking, I understand.
Yes, we took a big leap, huge leap, and we're now property owners. In January of this year, we took possession of the High Point Theater and High Point backlot, just sort of right up the street here, up Oakland, up to the top of the hill there, and it's so exciting to have this. We always wanted something like this, but it was, a massive undertaking, both physically and emotionally and financially. But the opportunity just fell into our laps, and we took it and we hit the ground running. And we've been showing a mixture of repertory films, older films, some new things, rentals, book launches. We're going to do a wedding next year, whatever we want. But our own events also. So this will be, QFest has been at the High Point before, but we're in our own, we have the keys to the place where the venue is, so it'll be really fun. One of our longtime partners is right next door, the Cheshire Hotel. So we have some guests coming in from out of town, a couple of the films, so they'll be staying there. So it's a nice community feeling. And I've mentioned before, my new commute to work is 5 minutes. So it's great. But this is one of our smaller events, and I was one of the original founding members, and now I'm kind of it.
I was going to say that now in its 16th year, and now you own the High Point, which anybody in St. Louis knows and loves. The High Point, best popcorn around.
It is the popcorn is exactly the same.
Okay.
We did not change anything. I know the proper procedure, how to stack in the middle of the bag popcorn and then put it on the top. I'm a popcorn expert now.
Now
so
you've got everything under
Yes.
white. So QFest will be basically in your own home.
Yes.
Being at the High Point. Is there a film or a documentary that you are really looking forward to?
They're all my little children, but yeah, sure. But each year for the past 8 to 10 of the 16 years, we've done an older film. We called a Q classic.
Okay.
A film from 20 to 50 years old that is a classic and an important part of queer film history. And they've ranged from all kinds of different films and documentaries and women directors and men directors and trans directors and everything. But this year we settled on Greg Araki's The Doom Generation, because there's a brand new 4K restoration of it, anniversary, 40-year anniversary. Stars James Duvall and Rose McGowan, and it was a big, huge, weird indie hit at the time, and the progenitor of the modern queer film movement. And Greg Araki was one of the top queer living directors right now. So it's important to have that as kind of show where we've been and where we've come to.
I love that. Now, how does this work? If somebody wants to come see a film or two films or all the films, how does this work with QFest?
People can come up, they can purchase tickets in advance. They can certainly walk up to the window before any show and see one. And there is a multi-pass, like in the fifth film, multi-pass. There you can buy a ticket that gives a couple $1 discount on 5 tickets or 10 tickets. And I think we have even an all access. If you want to just sit there for a week and see everything, which I hope you do, you can do that too. I
love that. Now, you mentioned the one director, the blast from the past, if you will. Is there a newer one that's also kind of really, I mean, obviously you've chosen these all, so you love them all, but is there one that really you're like, this one's the movie?
Our first film is called The Blue Caftan, and it's a foreign film, and it's in just a little tiny garment shop in a very busy city, and it just the sounds and the textures and everything just is really a beautiful essay on life and a very sophisticated storytelling. I think that's really quite beautiful.
That's going to be the one. Now, I think when we kind of briefly touched upon it in the beginning about how there's some movies obviously geared towards the LGBTQ plus community, others not so much. You want everybody to go. Why is it so important that everybody, regardless if they fit into the LGBTQ plus community or not, see some of these movies?
If you just like going to the movies or art house cinema, this checks all those boxes. One of the films stars Penelope Cruz. It's an Italian film set in the early 70s. So, if you like Italian films with Penelope Cruz, you can't go wrong with Limonista.
You can't go wrong.
Lots of things. Andrea Riseborough, who was kind of the it girl before the Oscars last year. She's a co-star of this wild dance crazy musical, which is our final film, Please Baby Please, that is quite bawdy, but lots of fun. So it's a nice to get her name in the mix there.
And this film festival, we also touched on in the beginning, with some of the things that are happening with laws and other shootings, you're kind of hoping this kind of brings the community together, not just the LGBTQ plus community, but the whole community.
Sure. It's meant to empower and strengthen and celebrate members of the community, but also just to share these stories and these pieces of art, as we consider these films to be, share them with everybody.
Make sure everybody gets to see them. So let's go through where people can find more information about QFest, how they can look up tickets, all of that.
There are many, many ways, but the first one is to go to the cinemastlouis.org website. We don't spell it Saint, so cinemastlouis.org /QFest, or there's many buttons to get there, and on the banner and the scroll across the top, there's information about each show and each day, trailers for all the films, and a little bit of everything.
Oh, perfect. So we've got the website there on the screen, but you also have social media, of course, Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram, that I'm sure you're telling people about what's going on. And then, of course, it's the 16th annual one, May 4th through the 10th, and it's in your home now.
Our new home, our forever home.
Which is lovely, the High Point.
Yes.
And everyone loves the High Point.
Yes.
If you haven't even been to a show at the High Point, this is a great excuse to get out and go.
Yes, and buttered popcorn is non-gender specific, and it doesn't matter who you are. Just come have the popcorn and just let it all wash around you. It'll just be a joyful experience.
I love it. Thank you, Chris, so much for joining me
today. Was fun. Thanks.
This was so great. Definitely check out QFest, see if there's a movie that you need to see. There's probably more than one you need to see, so make sure you get those tickets. And keep it right here on STL TV and Experience St. Louis.